Okay. Done. Okay. Okay, any question, class? Do you have any question?
Not yet.
Regarding the audit strategy and audit plan, can you see the difference between audit strategy, scope, timing, direction, and audit plan, nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures? Dah boleh tak?
Boleh.
You all ni senyap je. Bila I tanya cepatlah jawab. Okay, so you look at the exam focus point. So exam focus point is important to highlight which you want to stress for your exam. Okay, so what is the focus point said? In the audit strategy, the auditor might note that concern over the effectiveness of an entity's internal control means the auditor can place little reliance on those controls. Therefore, the audit strategy will be to carry out extensive substantive testing based on the low plan level of detection risk. So in the audit plan, the auditor will detail the specific tests which will be required to provide the auditor with the assurance he needs that the financial statements are not materially misstated. So audit plan focus on the detailed testing. Okay, can you change the overall audit strategy and audit plan? Okay, the auditor shall update and change the overall audit strategy and the audit plan as necessary. Okay, as necessary during the course of the audit. So in this case, here, so you already, you will do your final audit. So final audit is based on the, when you do the final audit, so you have, this is not 1 year, so you already set in your audit strategy the scope, the time work, where you want to report. So maybe, you are given 2 months. So April, 1st April 2021, you have to, the company need to do the AGM already. So, you must finish your audit work 2 weeks earlier. Okay, so 15th of March. Okay, 15th of March, you have to finish your audit work. finish audit work. Okay, maybe not 15th of March. Okay, maybe 1 week earlier than March. So you have 7th of March. Okay, 7th of March. So you finish all the fieldwork of your audit. Okay. Fieldwork completed, Fieldwork completed. So once the fieldwork completed, okay, on the 15th of March, okay, you might discuss with the management any matters or any issue regarding the fieldwork or any result. So these are the timetable that you need. So during your audit work here, so this is your audit work, the fieldwork that you do. So you need to adjust, change, okay, the audit strategy and audit plan. Okay, so if you want to change, you are required to change, so you are allowed. Okay, this one. The auditor shall update and change the overall audit strategy and the audit plan as necessary during the course of the audit. So this is the course of the audit. This is the course of the audit during the fieldwork of the audit. Okay, an accurate record of changes to the audit strategy must be maintained in order to explain the general approach finally adopted for the final. Okay, any changes to the audit strategy or the audit plan and the reason for them must be included in the audit documentation. So at the end, you must cap all the changes in audit documentation or audit file. Okay. So, example here, the auditor find errors in the client's computer processing procedure or non-current assets are held by the client which are not recorded in the non-current asset register. Okay, yang tadi itulah. So, when you have checked when you do the physical inspection of the asset, okay, during the interim audit, okay, you identify that you perform the test of control, so you identify that the non-current asset held by the company are not recorded in current asset register. So you need to make a further testing may be required in this area. The audit strategy may also alter if major administrative matters change. For example, the deadline for audited account is brought forward, change. So yang tu kena tukar lah. Okay, dalam audit strategy. Okay, macam contoh serba dinamik. Serba dinamik also change dia financial year end. So if they change the financial year end, so then the time frame for the reporting is changes. So you have to change the audit strategy. Okay, dia change audit strategy. Okay, sebab dia financial year end dia instead of 31st December, okay, 2020 dia bring dia extend the financial end up to 30th June 2021. So dia tambah lagi 6 bulan. So accounting period dia setahun setengah. So you kena tukarlah audit strategy. Itu serba dinamik lah. Okay, tukar audit strategy. So if you find out any kat sini kalau ada issue, okay, so is there any ethical issue ke, any ethical clearance and so on, so you have to discuss with the management. Okay, sebab itu auditor previous the auditor tu dia resign. Maybe dia tak boleh nak clear the ethical issue and so on. Okay, and then audit program. So this is another term for the audit program. Okay, audit program. So you before this you familiar with the audit procedures. Okay, audit procedures is the procedure that you want to conduct the audit. So this is the audit procedure. This is the example of audit procedure. This one. Inspect a sample of assets that are recorded in the non-current asset register. So this is audit procedure. Okay. What is audit program? Okay, audit program is a set of audit procedure. Okay, the audit manager will typically use the audit plan as a basis for drawing up checklist or similar document. And then audit program are schedules of audit procedures to be carried out by audit staff. So this is audit program. Schedules of audit procedures to be carried out by audit staff to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Okay, so contoh, so this one, okay, is a three set of procedures. Okay, so 3 set procedures on the existence. Okay, to check whether the non-current asset exists or not. So this 3 sets of procedure is considered as audit program for non-current asset. Okay, that is the audit program. So is a schedule of each procedure to be carried out by the audit staff to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So it's a set of audit procedure, okay, to achieve one objective. Okay, so each account area, example non-current asset, inventory, receivables, will have its own audit program. That's why I said just now, this is only audit program for NCA. Okay, is only audit program for NCA to achieve the existence objective. So kalau dia nak cari on the valuation, dia ada another list of procedures. Okay, so that is the meaning of audit program. And then audit program may be designed with reference to specific audit objective. So yang ni, saya kata tadi, audit objective. This ensure that the audit work is focused and that sufficient appropriate audit evidence is gathered and documented. Any question on audit program? Faiza, ada soalan?
Tak ada, madam.
Okey, tak ada. Ain Nizati?
Okey, setakat ni, madam.
So far, okey? Okay?
Okey.
Okay, good. So now audit team, yang ni I rasa tak payah cerita lah. Audit team kita dah tengok. But you have engagement partner, audit manager, so hierarchy. So this is the first, second, third, fourth. So it is a level of experience and the job scope, okay, of each staff members. So you have to read, okay, what are the scope, the job scope for partner, okay, audit manager, okay, supervisor and audit assistant. Okay, who can sign the audit report? Who can sign the audit report?
Audit manager.
Audit manager. Lagi?
Partner.
Is it audit manager sign the audit report?
Audit senior kan?
Betul ke?
Partner.
Partner, okay. Audit partner, okay. Engagement or audit partner only can sign the audit report. So audit partner must under the license of auditor, licensed accountant. Okay, act as the audit partner. Okay, audit manager, okay, is the senior auditor, okay, appointed to become the audit manager. Okay, so if you start after your audit, after your ICCA, then you start with the audit assistant. After 3 years, okay, you might promote to the audit senior, 3 years to 5 years. So after 5 years, okay, you have a lot of experience already, then you may apply to become the audit manager. Okay, so if you have enough experience, enough skill, knowledge, and you are you quite brave to attend the interview, then you can attend the interview to become the licensed accountant. Yang ni yang boleh jadi yang boleh sign audit report. Okay, as long as you have a licensed accountant. Okay, licensed accountant. Okay, so you can sign the audit report. Okay. So this is the partner's job scope, so you can read by your own.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to read the case study.
Okay.
Yeah. Read the case study.
Okay.
Still same case study. Brown Co, Doji Taylor, Joe Price, and Emilia Okacha.
Emilia Okacha.
Macam
Read the case study.
so dia sebagai audit partner akan check overall responsibility for the audit and result. Back to audit partner.
Okay, done class. Who is Doji Taylor?
Audit partner.
In the audit team members, what are the position of Doji Taylor?
Audit senior.
Audit partner.
Audit partner. Okay. Joe Price?
Senior. Audit senior.
Yeah. Okay. Emilia?
Assistant. Audit assistant.
Audit assistant.
Saya
So
student
do
je.
they have the audit manager?
No.
They don't have.
So if there is no audit manager, so who will act the responsibility of audit manager?
Audit partner.
Audit partner. Okay. So in this case, kalau lah dalam case Brown and Co ni, who will do the audit strategy and audit planning? Siapa yang akan buat audit strategy and audit planning?
Doji Taylor.
Who? Doji Taylor or Joe Price?
Joe Price.
Joe Price. Okay, Joe Price. Sebab dia normally audit planning and audit strategy will be done by audit manager. Okay.
Audit planning and audit strategy lah.
Since Brown and Co does not have the audit manager, so the job of audit manager will be done by audit partner. Okay, so you kena tahulah. And then when you dealing with the client staff, so make sure that you must always promote professional relationship. Okay, remember that the relationship does not impact the professional independence. The professional, the fundamental principle. Okay, remember so you as the audit manager or audit senior or audit partner, that you have to supervise your colleague or your team, not to have you must have to maintain the professional relationship. That is dealing with the client. Okay, when you want to use the expert and who are the experts? Okay, auditor may only rely on the other expert on one specific procedure have been carried out. Auditors may only rely on other experts. So means that when you do the audit, you have to perform it first. Okay, so when you identify that specific procedures does not you are not able or capable to settle the issue, then you have to seek for the expert. Okay. There are two types of expert. So you have in the ISA 500, okay, in the audit evidence, okay, we have management experts as well as auditors expert. Okay, management expert under ISA 500, auditors expert under ISA 620. Okay, what is auditors expert? Auditors expert is a person or firms possessing special skill, knowledge and experience in a particular field other than accounting or auditing, whose work in that field is used by the auditor to assist the auditor in obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So if let's say, okay, when you do the audit planning, okay, you identify the key focus area is inventory. So inventory ni, okay, you ada satu suspicious item. Okay, suspicious item which are significant. So you don't know what is the sources. Okay, this is significant. And that company is involved highly in the let's say oil and gas. Okay, oil and gas company. Then you might not have an expert. So during the audit planning. So what should you do? You might ask other audit firms, okay, to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence on behalf of you. So this is considered auditor's expert. Not expert in accounting and auditing, but might they have expert in the forensic. Okay, forensic accounting. Okay, forensic accounting. Okay, so it's not accounting or auditing, but the area here is forensic. So you might need the evidence on that kind of area. So you appointed the auditor's expert. Okay. What is management expert? Management expert is a person or firms possessing special skill, knowledge and experience in the particular field other than accounting or auditing, whose work in the field issued by the entity to assist the entity in preparing the financial statement. So, auditor's expert is appointed by the auditor in order to gather sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Management expert is appointed by the management, used by the entity when to assist in preparing the financial statement. So that is a different things, auditor's expert and management expert. Okay. So when the entity has used the management expert, okay, in preparing the financial statement, the auditor will have to assess the reliability of the expert and resulting evidence in accordance with the ISA 500, sufficient appropriate audit evidence, and also in terms of reliability of the information. Okay, if information to be used as audit evidence has been prepared using the work of management expert, the auditor shall, to the extent necessary, having regard to the significance of the expert, evaluate the competence, capability and objectivity of the expert. So this is your duty, means that when you know the management has used the management expert, okay, in helping them to prepare the financial statement, this one. So you have to look at, okay, when you want to use when you want to accept that kind of expert work, you have to evaluate the competence, capabilities and objectivity of that expert, obtain understanding of the work of the expert and evaluate the appropriateness of the expert work as audit evidence. So this, when the information is the sources of the information is come from the expert. Expert is the third party. Third party information. The question is how reliability of the information. So how you are going to check the reliability? You have to look at in terms of the independence of the expert to the management. Independence of the expert to the management. And then whether it is provide sufficient appropriate audit evidence. If this is not the case, the auditor may consider if it necessary to use auditor's expert to confirm the accuracy of the work. So kalau you rasa, if you think that that information is not highly reliable, and it not provide you with the sufficient appropriate audit evidence, so you have to use auditor's expert. So auditor's expert. What is auditor's expert? A client may engage in special advice on a particular matter which carries a risk of material misstatement in the financial statement. The auditor, in order to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So when you want to use the auditor's expert, in order to obtain understanding of the client and its environment, including its internal control. So like my example just now, so if you are not really competent to assess the significant risk regarding the suspicious item in the inventory, in the oil and gas company, you might use the auditor's expert because this is involved with the forensic. Identify and assess the risk of material misstatement. So if you have a problem in identifying and assess the risk of material misstatement, so you might use the auditor's expert. Auditors who are expert in risk assessment. Determine and implement overall response to assess risk at the financial statement level. Design and perform further audit procedure in response to the assessed risk and evaluate the sufficiency and appropriateness of audit evidence. So that's how you are going to use the auditor's expert. What are the needs? Or when you need to apply the auditor's expert? In what area? Valuation of certain types of asset, example land and building, plant and machinery, because plant and machinery now is very difficult. Normally the company they claim the software as part of the capital expenditure in order to make the plant and machinery to be usable. So you must expert in evaluating also the software. So if you not expert, then ask the auditor's expert. Actual calculation of liabilities associated with insurance contract or employee benefit plan. Ini another things. Actual calculation. Sebab itu in those who have the actual science qualification, they may also accepted to join the audit firm. Sebab nak jadi auditor's expert kat sini. Actual calculation, insurance company. So siapa yang ada adik-adik nak minat, so boleh nak jadi auditor tak nak ambil account, so boleh ambil actual science. So can also join the audit firm.
I want to
The valuations of environmental liabilities and site clean-up costs, decompositioning oil wells in the case of petroleum company. So this is also need the auditor's expert. interpretation of contract, law and regulation also needs the expert from the legal perspective. Analysis of complex or unusual tax compliant issue, example transfer pricing. So kalau you belajar tax, ada transfer pricing in tax. So this is also complex issue. So ask for auditor's expert. Okay. So when you want to decide the auditor's expert, kena review dulu management expert punya work in terms of their skills, significance, risk and so on. Okay. So this is in terms of objectivity of the auditor's expert. Okay, competence and objectivity. So you need to look at in terms of personal experience with the previous work of that expert, discussion with that expert, discussion with other auditor, knowledge of the expert qualification, published paper or book written by the expert, the auditor's firm quality control policy and procedure. And then also you look at the risk that an expert objectivity is impact increased when the expert is employed by the entity. Okay, so means when you look at to the if let's say you are doing the auditor's expert, okay, auditor's expert, you may have several departments and the auditor's expert may come from your entity. So katalah you work in PwC, PwC ni ada forensic department. So you might ask the auditor from forensic department to become your expert team. Okay, so means you have to look at the objectivity. Okay, so if it is employed by the entity or related in the same some other manner to the entity. Okay, so means you also have to look also in terms of the objectivity, objectivity. And then the expert scope of work. Yang ni you tengoklah scope, objective of the expert work, roles and responsibility of the auditor and that experts, nature, timing and extent of communication and confidentiality. This is important. Okay, confidentiality because the information, okay, the expert is not in your audit team. Okay, audit team tadi, okay, audit manager, okay, is not in the audit team. Okay, so means must also look in terms of the confidentiality requirement. Okay, all information is confidential unless for 3 situations. So you have to tell to the expert that all the information is confidential. Okay, when you evaluate the work of expert, you need to look at the source data use, assumption and method use, okay, result of the expert in the light of auditor's knowledge of the business. And when to carry out and changes in the assumption. So assumption ni normally in the, kalau ada problem on the tadi tu lah issue on NCA, valuation of non-current asset, especially for the plant and machinery and the land and building. Changes in assumption and method. Okay, so if you ask the expert, okay, you must put it in the reference to an expert in the auditor's report. Okay. Okay, if let's say if the report, the kind of report is unmodified, okay, unmodified audit report, you don't have any paragraph for expert work. Okay, no need. Okay, no need to have extra paragraph for unmodified type of audit report issue. So katalah you guna auditor expert, so you tak payahlah cerita dekat audit report you. But if the auditor issue with a modified opinion, they may need to refer the work to the expert in order to explain the nature of modification. So kalau the auditor, the partner come up with the modified report. Okay, if it is come up with the modified report, so they are the basis for opinion. Okay, basis for opinion ni, dalam basis for opinion ni, you might put a paragraph that you already refer to expert. So to tell the shareholders that auditor have enough sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Okay. So now 12:55 already. Okay, done on the management expert dealing with the expert. Okay, 3.3. Okay, the last one look at to the question. Okay, read the question. Okay, one of you read the question. Siapa nak baca soalan?
China.
Siapa internet okey? Baca soalan.
Siapa internet okey? Boleh dia tanya.
Anda boleh dengar suara saya tak?
Boleh.
Okay, saya try.
Let's begin.
The asset of the Fuzzy Caterpillar investment mostly consists of buildings in London, which are valued at the open market value in the company's statement of financial position. You are auditing the financial statement of the company for the year ended 31 December 2004. During the year, the company devalued its properties using the valuation provided by Harvey Herbert, a chartered surveyor. Required. A. What work will you, as auditor, carry out on the valuation given by Harvey Herbert? And B. How would you answer differ if you have? A. How would your answer differ if Harvey Herbert was an employee of Fuzzy Caterpillar?
Okay, thank you. Siapa yang baca situ?
Saya.
Saya.
Saya minta.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So now the question is, dia kata, what work will you as an auditor carry out in the valuation given by Harvey Herbert? So now, Harvey Herbert ni is the chartered surveyor. So means that he is not the expert in accounting or auditing. Okay, so he is expert in the area that focus on the investment of building. Okay, investment consists of building in London. So now the issue is the asset of Fuzzy Caterpillar investment mostly consists of building in London which are valued at open market. In the company statement of financial position means that this is the fair value, right? Okay, all the statement in the financial position is valued at a fair value. So now during the year, the company revalued its property. Revalue. So kalau revalue, apa effect revalue? Kalau dalam perspektif financial accounting. Kita belajar dah financial accounting?
Return earning. Bukan return earning.
What is the effect of revaluation?
Revaluation surplus. Betul lah.
Tanya ni.
Tak boleh training kan?
Nilai non-current asset tambah.
Siapa tu? Fitri? Yeah, Fitri. What happened? What is the effect?
Dia punya nilai non-current asset tambah.
Not NCA. NCA increase.
Okay.
Okay, revalued using the valuation provided by Harvard chartered surveyor. So NCA increase. So kalau NCA increase,
Apa depreciation?
okay, what is the effect some more
Expense?
in perspective accounting recording process?
Expense increase? Sebab depreciation?
Dia akan melibatkan reserve, right? Revaluation,
Surplus.
reserve.
Reserve.
Okay, revaluation reserve. So sekarang ni, as an auditor, you are not expert in this area. Okay, so you ask Harvey Herbert to do the revaluation part. Okay, so Harvey Herbert is the the company. Okay, not the management and so not the auditor's expert, but management expert. Okay, so the company are using the management expert. So sekarang ni as an auditor, how you carry out the valuation given by Harvey Herbert. So apa you nak buat dengan Harvey Herbert punya revaluation. Okay, so dah pukul 1, then you have to read. Okay, tomorrow we discuss. Okay, boleh kelas? Baca So in order for you to understand clearly what is management expert, okay, what you are going to do with the management expert, and how you look at in terms of the independence of the management expert. Okay, so tomorrow I will go back to this one first. I ask your opinion. Okay, boleh?
Boleh.
Okay, so tomorrow we continue. Okay, any question?
No, madam.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Semua okay. So you have to read your book. Okay, today no exercise, just exercise for read the case. Okay, siapa Naim? Recite doa penutup.
Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.
Amin.
Innal insana fi khusr illa allazina amanu wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr.
Amin. Okay, thank you class. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, madam.
Have a nice lunch.
Have a nice
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.